turn. Wow!
This message is for all surfers in the world. The oceans need us today more than ever. This Sands of the World ceremony is our way of uniting the world in peace through surfing.
Now let's begin the Sands of the World ceremony.
It's the ISA symbol, and it symbolizes what we know, peace in the world through surfing. It's a meaningful ceremony in which you bring sand from your beach, you pour it there with your teammates. This ceremony stays with them for the rest of their life. When it came to Tahiti, Tahiti embraced the opening ceremony with the Sands of the World. And the beautiful box that we have today, it's staying in the Hupo.
To be a surfer is not only to go surfing. It is also to take care of the oceans, to be good people inside and outside of the water.
We are Team USA. Welcome to this year's opening ceremony 2024. Let's go!
Welcome everybody to this beautiful get-together again of the para surfers of the world under the ISA. These are going to be amazing days of surfing in Surf City, USA, Huntington Beach. What a wonderful place, full of history for the ISA, for World Championships, for US National Championships, for legends who's been surfing in Huntington Beach for decades and decades and decades. It's part of the history of surfing in the United States. So enjoy these days, enjoy your friends, your colleagues, your fellow competitors from around the world. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias to everybody from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you once again, and I would now like to declare the ISA Para Surfing Championship open.
Lining up perfectly for that inside section, so we can expect some amazing conditions at this spot.
151 athletes, 25 national teams, women making up over 1/3 of the total competitors, defending champions. Team France. Ben, who's your money on for Team Gold this year?
I'm not going to throw it out there yet, but we do have Australia's got a very, very strong team at the moment. Team Brazil also has a nice, strong team. But there are these superstars that they're going to stand out.
Defending gold medalists, we've got Elena Nichols, we've got David Teixeira, we've got Sarah Beck.
Cool, he's making sure that he doesn't go for anything and waste that paddle. As you said, a 20-minute heat, super quick. You want to be very selective and make sure that the wave that you get have that scoring potential. And the guy knows competition. He's a 2-time silver medalist, so he's definitely probably one of the favorites in the heat.
Yeah, and he knows all about the deep relationship between the IPC, the International Paralympic Committee, and the ISA to develop the sport of parasurfing. And it must be emphasized that there's been an incredible track record of the World Parasurfing Championship, the 9th edition, and of course as the governing body recognized by the IPC for the sport of parasurfing. It's really exciting to see that in line with our mission to develop the sport of surfing in all its forms, that we've worked extraordinarily from South Africa. And let's talk about the Costa Rican.
Yeah, so John Borantas Bolaños is a very, very strong competitor, which, well, we almost had a first wave there by JP. But yeah, John, I don't know too much about his personal life, but I know in competition he has always been one, as you're constantly moving No dead space, no hopping the board. He was going rail to rail the whole time.
JP Veaudry up and riding, representing South Africa, legend of parasurfing in the pier bowl left as this wave climbs in size and he attacks the section looking for the float, all tap timing. So JP Veaudry on the replay here. What do you think of this, Ben?
I love this. He does that little mid-face check right there. Gives the wave a chance to build up a little bit more. So he second turns a lot stronger, whaps another one, and ends up in that deep spot on the inside.
So this is our first wave for John Barrantes Bolanos from Costa Rica. He gets a 1.0 for that score as we wait for the ride for Forrest Reinberg to come in. That's going to come in real soon. And with that, let's go down to the glass with Rachel Tilley, because Philippe Bizou, of course, kisses en français, allez le bleu, as they say for Team France. But look out, because our South African JP Veaudry on a beautiful pier bowl left. Big smash off the top, vertical projection, attacking that section and then driving through to the inside here, still in the pocket, looking to eye out potentially one more turn, as he does with control, and again a third driving turn off the bottom, kicking out right there by the pier, already with a 5.0. That's going to go higher than that in my eyes, Ben.
Yeah, I can see him jumping up to first with that one, and just finding those critical sections, not only finding the critical sections, but his weight. I'm just going to have fun and throw it out there. I'm calling 7-5. But look at this. Drives up, real vertical approach into that one, and just gets in that over vertical critical section for that first hit, builds up this speed, and then sneaks in this one right here where you didn't even see that little section come in, and then carves it off again, kicks out with complete control.
Drops an 8.0, but Ben, let's talk about that turn alone.
That is such a good hit by any means, by any surfer. And to drive off and come up the face that vertically, redirect and come out with speed for more is something to be said about.
And South Africa, not with a massive team. Tracy McKay will be here, moving towards the middle. He turns, he looks, he's going to get right on the nugget here, right on the 8 ball. Our South African from East London on the front side, bottom turns, big sweeping arcing cutback into the pocket, just staying behind the section, recognizing that he needed to stay dynamic there, but that one just ran away from him and it didn't have a massive amount of scoring potential. But he's going to be cool about that because he's already got an excellent 8.0 and a 5, as we can see his support team, Team South Africa, the Springbok on the sand.
It's interesting because looking at the swell direction now, as you remember,
they're going to be tuning in, they're going to be watching, but it's JP Veaudry charging, carving off the bottom, really beautiful top turn there, just throwing spray and driving again into this big float section with nice projection control and a really attacking dynamic approach on the right-hander. And JP Veaudry, as we move into the last 3 minutes 20 seconds, he may well replace that 5.0.
Sam, JP, congratulations, a veteran on this tour and showing all of your experience out there, posting those excellent scores. Talk to me about that heat.
You know, the waves they're pretty good for America. I've been here a few times and we've had some bad waves, but they were pretty good. Panicked a little bit in the beginning when I let a few go. First heat jitters, I suppose.
Well, we talked about how you've had such an extensive travel to get here, and that was actually your first session out here in these conditions.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't slept in 3 days. I don't think I have, actually. High on coffee. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I'm really tired.
Well, you've earned your rest now. Hopefully you can get some sleep and a few more surfs before your next heat. And what...
There's something profoundly spiritual about riding waves. Water is transformative, healing. You're at the mercy of Mother Nature, the ever-changing movement of water. The ocean is the great equalizer. You don't need to belong to a certain race, religion, or gender to surf. The pursuit of these fleeting walls transcends sport. It's a way of life. And surfing has the power to change the world and has now taken its place on the world's greatest sporting stage, the Olympic Games. The International Surfing Association is the world's governing body of surfing, recognised by the International Olympic Committee with member nations around the globe. This is the International Surfing Association. This is a better world through surfing.
Pleasure to have your company. Thanks so much for tuning in as we get to the middle stage of day 2, and we are in heat number 2 of the women's Prone 1 division. We've got Catherine Beattie for Team USA, we got Paloma Anate for Team Spain, and we got Tracy McKay on her Spider Murphy built boards representing Team South Africa. I'm Sam Bleakley, now back in booth with Ben Way. Big shout out to Spider Murphy, in his late 70s now and still shaping boards, Ben.
Yeah, we saw just recently at the Masters Championship in El Salvador, half of Team South Africa that came up to the glass.
On Yate from Santa Cruz in Tenerife, she rides Carbon House boards, so she's in a good spot there on the inside. She's just getting a little bit of assistance to just push herself out, as we can see Tracy McKay getting a nice engaged rail there, a little cut back and a redirect, rail-to-rail action right through to the inside onto the shallow sands. We'll get to see her decision now. Will she move across to the pier bowl rip current, or will she just go straight out into the waves?
Yeah, it looks like from this angle we can see she's much closer to the pier than we might thought she was. But one thing I want to point out is we did have a little texture about 4 heats. We had about 4 heats ago. We had a little bit of texture on there. Now the wind's cleaning up. It's getting buttery, and we've just had this perfect day.
Yeah, and perfection. Captain Cool, it's Sarah Betancourt for Team USA, looking good, and she is on the glass with Rachel Tilley.
Thanks so much.
Epic. High vibes, 100%, and putting it on the line, saying that she may well bust out some airs in the final.
Well, I made that board to perform. So there's nothing more pleasing to a shaper than watching your board on the glass winning heat. And this board by Spider for Tracy, we saw in that last wave, not this one, but you could see how she was redirecting on the inside. You saw how nothing hung up. The board needs to be really forgiving.
Yep.
But it also needs to be responsive, and that's such...
Really enjoyed that, the late take off the control, as we can see the South African flag there flying in support of Tracy McKay from Durban. The Bluff, her local patch, likes to surf Dairy Bowl, a lot of great waves around there. She grew up in that area. It was in 2005 when, due to cancer, she suffered her disabilities, and her diagnosis meant that she had damage in her spine. She was living in the UK at the time. She got into swimming in 2010 and rowing in 2014, and then was perfectly placed to get into surfing back home in South Africa from 2018, having grown up around the surf culture at the Bluff, Durban area.
Insane. Yeah, and really, really talented rider.
Incredible performer. This could be her year. Laura Footy representing Team England, based on the northern beaches of Australia. But watch out, because Tracy McKay with a beautiful drop, incredible rail engagement on her Spider Murphy built board, and then now just coming out on the open face, cutting back and then readjusting, and now recognizing that she's going to go towards the north, towards the pier, and then back towards the south again, and then really engaging both rails. And you can see the positioning of those twin...
Dump you off with a rear aft position.
Yep.
With the fins swept up like that, it allows the board to actually drift and regain control laterally without flipping you over.
Absolutely. So a lot of advancement in fin positioning technology as we seconds, and it's Paloma Oniate representing the Canary Islands, based in Tenerife, surfing for Team Spain, a copper medalist in Prone 1 in 2023. She takes the win. Moving down into third is Catherine Beattie with a 2.83 and a 2. Tracy McKay stays in second with that 2.73 and that 2.13. But of course, it's non-elimination. It's the first qualifying round, so all of these surfers will get an opportunity to surf in qualifying round 2 and combine their best 2 scores to book a spot in the semi-finals. Stay with us. We're going to check out competition day 1 highlights. Feast on this, and we'll be right back. Sports, JP Veaudry from South Africa. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. And you just told me that you have been at every single World Parasurfing event.
Yeah, since it started 2015. Yeah, there's a certain gold medal that I want to get.
Yep, you've had bronzes and silvers.
I have. Yep, bronzes, silver, and copper.
There we go. And what drives you to come each year?
You know, everybody needs a goal.
Yeah.
This is my goal.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, surfing's good enough, but I just want to take it to the next level. And I've never been really big on competition surfing, but it's a goal that's worth striving for.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the relationship between your work as a photographer and how that kind of frames your career and the opportunities to compete competitively in adaptive surfing?
I try not to photograph surfing. I'm more of a portrait photographer. I don't want to watch people having great waves.
Yep.
I want to be that person.
You want to be the one out there surfing, yeah. Because that could be something that can easily happen for any young aspiring photographer who is also a surfer. Is the first thing you do, you start to document, film, photograph surfing, then you're the one on the beach, not out there surfing. But this person for Team USA kicking off with a 183, and this is that second wave, so waiting for this score to come through. You would have seen a lot of good prone surfers out of South Africa, and of course representing Denmark, but South African by birth, the great Bruno Hansen. I'm sure you've seen him competing over the years.
Yeah, she sent me a message last night.
There we go.
And,
And this is a 7 from Casey Proud with a really beautiful float there, great roller coaster. I mean, that's very much Bruno Hansen-esque technique from Casey Proud, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I was sad not to see him here because he always sets the field ablaze.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, setting the field ablaze with an opening score of a 7. Casey Proud, good start. You had a great start yesterday, JP. How did that feel to get your campaign underway this year?
Yeah, I mean, that first heat is always quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It helped a lot.
Yep.
Definitely, yeah.
And how do you control the nerves before you compete? What is your technique to kind of know that you can let your surfing do the talking and not let the nerves get in the way of your performance?
If you know how to, please let me know, because there was nothing calm about me.
Well, no, you did look with. Talking of teammates, JP, you've come with a stripped-down South African team, just you and Tracy, but Tracy had a great performance a couple of heats back.
Yeah, I mean, she's a silver medalist.
Yep.
She's as good as it gets.
And still riding Spider Murphys. I mean, Spider's still shaping well into his late 70s, I guess, now.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure you know he's shaped for our hero, South African hero, Sean Thompson.
Absolutely, as we can see, the daughter of Laurie there, and this is Team Irikanji's on the sand, so fantastic support. And how much of an important impact, as we can see Spike Kane there, and of course Buttons, his dog. There's the Team England gathering around the camera, looking super excited there to fly the flag, as we can see her just enjoying a bit of a kind of post-heat opportunity there, JP.
Yeah, being in front of the glass is quite an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to thank everybody who supported you. You get to give a shout out to your family tuning in back home.
Yeah. It's where every athlete wants to end up.
And then you've been to so many of the different events. You've been to La Jolla, you've been to Pismo. Now this is your second time at Huntington. How special is it to come back to Huntington?
Well, it's definitely the best spot.
Yeah.
Like you say, I've sampled a few spots.
Yep.
Before the World Champ started, I did a few WSA World Champ, WSA West Coast Championships, and I surfed churches, and it's definitely one of the most consistent breaks.
Casey Proud having a look. He's looking to replace that 0.67, of course, a gold medalist from 2022, multiple US champion, a former silver medalist. This is looking good. This is looking like it's going to easily surpass that backup score of a 0.67. May well not rival his 7, but he'll be pleased to get that strong second score. I'm Sam Bleakley in the booth with JP Veaudry, of course, a multiple medalist in the stand 2 category. And JP, you had a really great start to your campaign yesterday. Did you bring a vuvuzela with you?
I did bring a vuvuzela. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it.
They're hard to use. I've tried to blow them. My wife is South African.
Okay.
She's from Port Shepstone.
Can she blow it?
She showed me how to blow, and then I couldn't. I tried. It takes some real lip strength. It's harder than playing the trumpet.
Yeah. No, well, that's our national instrument.
Absolutely. So you have bought it, so we're looking, no pressure, Jay, but we're expecting to hear that sound next time Tracy's in the water.
Perfect. We'll do that.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, iconic. You talk about, you've had the experience of doing the World Parasurfing Champs at different locations. La Jolla, Pismo, here at Huntington once again. I mean, you know.
That's so picturesque, isn't it?
Absolutely. And also free surfs wise, what has been your tactics? Do you like to free surf before the competition on the south side, or do you just like to find some space and find your feet?
I can't reveal all my secrets.
You got to hide a few.
Yesterday's heat was the first time I actually surfed since I got here on the pier. That is, you know, I surfed down the beach. My strategy was to surf the most terrible waves I could find.
Yeah.
Because anything could happen in a contest, and this is quite a reliable wave.
Sure.
So that was my strategy.
Yeah.
It just so happened it was going off yesterday.
Yep. And you did fantastic. As Casey Proud now drops a 4.93 for his second wave there, and a beautiful bottom turn, big connection off the top, going for the floater, attacking that section, not riding out of that second big maneuver, but a fantastic first maneuver there, really top to bottom, using all of the wave. I mean, how do you get inspiration from some of the other categories, JP, as a stand surfer?
I'm quite surprised that these guys are really going for it. You know, it's nowhere near final yet. They're giving it their all, and it shows you how much they want it.
Absolutely. And you would have had to have worked hard to get here. I mean, have you got any shout outs for some of the fundraising that you had to do to raise the money? Very difficult traveling from South Africa with the strength of the rand against other currencies, particularly the dollar. It takes a lot of fundraising.
Well, let's just put it in perspective. We allowed 16 athletes, 8 guys, 8 girls. We have 2.
Yeah.
Me and Tracy. And that just shows you how difficult it is to raise that sort of money. Like I said, it's a goal of mine, so I make a plan, but I have so many shout-outs. You know, I was doing raffles, I was doing business challenges. I'm scared to start mentioning people because I might leave someone out.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, you want to talk about the whole group as one. Yeah, I understand that.
I'm trying to think, like Shane Pagel gave me a big chunk of money. I come from a very small town, East London.
Yes.
And it's a very tight community, but I feel bad asking them for their hard-earned money to get here.
Absolutely, but they'll be proud of you, you know, and they know what you have done for parasurfing as well. I mean, how did you get into adaptive sports in the first place?
I lost my leg. No, I was lying in hospital, and I thought that life was over. It's the kind of first thing that goes through your mind, and then I googled, can you surf without a limb?
Yep.
And I found Dana Cummings. I'm sure you know him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he coached me through the process. I did as well as I could with the components and with the knowledge, but it's not like you can go into a shop and buy a surfing prosthetic.
Yep.
You know? You can get a prosthetic.
Yep.
A lot of people make prosthetics, but what is a surfing prosthetic?
Sure.
And he said to me, so I did the best I could, and I said it still wasn't great. And he said, look, come here to the States. You can surf the West Coast Championships. We can do a clinic together. And he's got a whole bunch of students at Domingos High University.
Yep.
A whole bunch of students, and we went to Long Beach, and we designed a surfing leg.
There we go.
And I'm still using that same design today.
Really? So that was from back in, we're talking 2015, 2014,
2011.
2011, as early as that. And you're still using the same leg today. So
exact same design.
Have you tried different designs but defaulted back to this design?
Well, it's clearly not the same leg because the seawater is very corrosive.
Yeah. So,
the parts have all changed, but it's the same angles, the same concept, the same length. And these are secrets I'm not going to give away.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the brilliant thing about adaptive sports is it's that whole element of adapting, of recognizing where the impairment is and using technology and techniques to adapt so that you can achieve the highest level of performance. And of course, prosthetics are a huge element, as we can see Tracy giving you a few messages there, a little bit of feng shui between two fellow South Africans.
Is she encouraging or shouting at me? I don't know.
She may not even know that you're live on the webcast. Who is she with?
She's with a support crew. We did bring a coach.
There we go.
Because I think that's quite important. And so that's probably Owami and Chantal on the beach there.
Parker, he gets a second wave there, so he's looking to drop a score of a 9.93 to move up into first, because Casey Proud has got a 7 and a 6.43. A fantastic start for Casey. How does that feel when you get big scores read out by the beach announcer, JP, and you're sitting in there in the driving seat?
Like, it's just a weight off your shoulders. It allows you to just free up and just start enjoying yourself as opposed to stressing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about freeing up, you had a great performance from your fellow South Africans at the recent ISA World Masters Surfing Championship in El Sunzal, in another surf city, not Surf City USA, Surf City El Salvador. Your good friend Tyrell Johnson got to the final. You must have been proud of his run.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we from the small town, the whole town got together. We all made sure we watched him. It was fantastic. He should have won. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
I know the commentators were really rooting for him as well.
He was absolutely ripping, and as was Gary as well.
Yeah, Gary's been a long-time shaper, very nice guy, very good surfer, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, I know all about unfortunate things, you know. I believe I can win this, but like, it doesn't always work. And
it has to happen in that final. I mean, of course, Casey knows that feeling of winning, but he also knows that disappointment of not getting the win. He got the silver in 2021. He backed that up with the gold in 2022. I mean, you have been building up and you're still coming back for more. And what can you pick up from with your experience in the final last year that you want to take into this final, if you do make it to the final? I firmly believe you will, JP, as well.
Yeah, it's well, you know, if anybody knows the history of the final, it was really disappointing because, you know, I was right up there. I mean, I started with a 7.
Yeah.
Everything was looking really good.
Yep.
And you know, you can get overamped.
Yep.
And just lose concentration for a second.
Yeah.
In that second, got interference, and that was that.
Yep.
I was still quite stoked to get a third, even with a one-wave count.
Yep.
But you know what? You really beat yourself up.
Yep, absolutely.
All year, actually.
Yeah. So, well, you're back. You got an opportunity to kind of get back into another final. Casey Proud obviously got his horizons on the final. Is Casey someone that you've enjoyed seeing compete over the last 10 years?
Yeah, I just really enjoy his flow. You know, that's one of the criteria of our sport: speed, power, flow.
Yep.
And he's definitely got the flow factor.
Absolutely. And talking about the flow factor, here he is, the man, Casey Proud, already with a 7 and a 6.43. Has a look at that wave, recognizes that it's not going to be a scorer, so he's paddling back out for more. Just 3 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, JP. Positioning as well. I mean, Huntington, there's a lot of options, you know, between the pier bowl, between middles, between Machados. It looks like a nice left here for Casey. Good off the bottom, off the top again into that second turn, and then just looking to drop back down into the section. That wave will die on him, but he's nice and active. And I was just talking about the range of choices, the different peaks. I mean, how do you make those decisions as to which peak you're going to surf?
Yeah, yesterday we had this, like, you know, like the picture of this, the logo is like a perfect A-frame. You can go left, you can go right, and someone was saying to me, you know, you could go either way, and I said I actually don't like a choice.
Yeah.
You know, because you're paddling for this A-frame, and you don't know which way to go.
Sure.
And you know, both ways are as good as each other, so you just got to pick what you think is the best. Yeah, so choice can be a bit of a.
And do you normally have a plan before a heat, or do you go in the moment and adapt based on what you're seeing once you're out in your heat?
Yeah, I mean, you have a plan, but like you say, you get out to the back and everything looks a lot different to the way it looks from the beach.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes you go out with a strategy, and the moment you get out there, it completely changes. That left is really contestable.
Yeah, it looks. I can see you're licking your lips about a few of those. Yeah, will you get a free surf after we finish today?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I had one this morning.
Yeah, good surf this morning?
Yeah, really good.
Super clean,
down
super
the beach.
nice.
It's not as good as the pier, but it was really great.
Yep. A few little tubes?
Potential.
Yep.
Potential.
Yep. It did look quite hollow this morning as I was walking up to join the team to kick things off. And
we're really lucky because the forecast didn't say much waves for this event.
yeah, we've really scored. We've been blessed.
Here goes
Absolutely.
Casey.
Here we go, Casey Proud up and riding. Beautiful technique there. Just got that inside arm on that front nose there, off the bottom, off the top. Big throw of spray on that first maneuver. Cutting back into the section, staying in the pocket as this wave gets smaller, but he's still generating speed and just puts that arm into the face. A great technique and just raising the chest. A nice little turn on the inside. I can hear Team Hawaii cheering. They're pretty proud. Is that going to go into his top two? He's got a 7 and a 6.43. Just 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. He looks fired up, JP.
I think it could be right up there. I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's very close to that 7.
Absolutely. As we can see, Parker out back for Team USA. He's got a 3.5 and a 2.67. Hoping to just get one last wave. What about this, JP? Absolutely shredding from Casey Proud.
Yeah, look, he stays right in the pocket there, and that's where the power source is. Looking at it again, it's probably a bit small. I'm going about 6.
Yeah. That's the great thing about getting the opportunity to study the replay is sometimes on instinct a particular score comes into your head.
Yep.
And then when you look at the replay, you sometimes realize that it's going to go higher or lower. Often it's that instinctive first thought we've seen the live ride that's often closest, but there are times when I think recognizing on that replay, it did die on him a little bit. It was a much smaller wave. And if we think about how strong that opening 7 was, feels like it could go quite a lot lower than his top 2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to set the bar and work from there.
JP, it's been an absolute honor to have you in the booth. What are you most looking forward to for the next few days?
I think that would be quite obvious. I want to win. I mean, just like everybody else, but I'm getting old, and I know I'm no Kelly Slater, but if Kelly can keep doing it, I can try.
Absolute. JP, you're an absolute legend. It's an honor to have you in the booth. We look forward to the opportunity to have a few more post-heat interviews with you as well. Hopefully we will hear from you after a gold medal. Thanks so much for your time. We're going to have a short break. Here's Casey Proud doing us proud. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the action as we move into men's stand 2. It's our qualifying round 2. We've got JP Veaudry, legend Jean-Paul from South Africa, the 48-year-old, looking to go for gold this year after bronze in the final last year. He got an
of that upper body. Now we have our opening ride for red. Wraps it around. This one's going to run a little bit more than our surfer in green's wave. Smaller wave though, but he maximizes it all the way to the inside, gets a couple turns, cuts out.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing what scores come through. But with that, let's go down to Juan Solano. He's a
su familia, a todas las personas que nos han apoyado. Muchas bendiciones y nos vemos en la final.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Back to you guys.
Great stuff. Congratulations. We can see JP Veaudry for Team South Africa absolutely shredding, ripping. He's got a 5.17. Beautiful end to that section there, just smashing that and gliding out cleanly. Self a spot in that grand final. We've got 3 qualifying rounds here. Now, this is the second qualifying round. We've got 3 more heats to go in this second qualifying round, and only space for 4 finalists. As it stands right now, JP Veaudry is sitting pretty good because he got an 8 and a 7.67 for his round 1. So the surfers will be carrying their best 2 combination of scores. But what about this, Rachel?
I think this could better his second highest score from that opening, from his round 1. I really loved that. Look, just driving off the bottom, gets that second turn.
Whoa.
Wow.
That was nice.
Really nice. And he read it well, ran down the line, and and had a strong finish, looked really clean. There was no bearing of the rails or anything. Every single transition was really intentional and well executed, and the judges really liked it, Sam. Look at that.
Yeah, I want to hear Tracy McKay blowing that Vuvuzela, because we had JP Veaudry in the booth a couple of days ago, and he was talking about how hard it is to blow that bitter disappointment getting silver in 2022, and then in 2023 last year he had an interference in the final but still finished in bronze. The winner of this division for the last 2 years has been our Brazilian Rafael Leaders. Now
himself from his competitors too.
PT on the beach, look out, absolute legend. Of course, PT lives here in Huntington. Of course, the Australian, they are one of the pioneers of professional surfing. He's done so much. His role, not only, of course, the star of Big Wednesday, which is something I really appreciate, but, you know, one of the founding pros of the original international professional surfing circuit. Of course, a world champion, and he's going to potentially get overtaken by some of the other surfers who can be surfing in Heat 2 and Heat 3. It's just there's 4 spots for the final with Tracy McKay there watching on as JP Veaudry's out there in the water.
Yeah, they'd be feeling quite comfortable. They're not sweating so much, and as JP has a really strong commanding lead.
Yeah, great stuff. And what does it feel like when you're out there having already had a great performance in a first round, knowing that the pressure's not really on, you've already got the scores you need, and you're just still demonstrating that you're going for gold, but you've got a lot of time left? I mean, how is that feeling?
Actually, I think at this point it now starts becoming not peaking.
City Beach, he actually lost his prosthetic leg while surfing. That's a $3,000 titanium leg at the time, so he launched a campaign to find it, and it was found. So it's a really fantastic story. As we can see JP just battling that, and I heard the blow of the Vuvuzela just then, just in time for that final maneuver, as JP Veaudry is really building momentum now, Rachel.
He is. He'd be feeling good, and now it's like you said, just getting comfort. He has that familiarity and that comfort. Taking a look from the beach angle, he's trying to get that speed up to get to that final maneuver, hits it, gets that nose up above the lip, wraps it back around. So that, I don't think will go into his top 2, and from a round 1 to round 2 perspective, but does go into his top 2 for this heat.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's carrying that 7.67 combined with his 8 from round 1 as his combination of scores. So at the moment he's looking likely to be
been able to, but he's had the right idea.
Here we go, JP Veaudry looking at this right-hander. I can hear the Vuvuzelas blowing. He's up and riding. Tracy McKay, of course, cheering him on from the sand. He won't need this score. He's already got a 7.67. Big shout out to the East London community tuning in back home in South Africa, because I know you will be behind your man, JP Veaudry. Is it going to finally be his chance to go for gold? He's been battling for this gold, Rachel, for so many years. It would mean the world to him to win gold this year.
Well, he's looking like the man to beat right now, you know, and seeing and talking to him in and around the beach, he looks happy, calm, cool, collected, and confident in what he's bringing. So that's the headspace you want to be in for a gold medal event.
Absolutely. Great performance for JP Veaudry. It looks like it's not going to be enough for Baldir from Costa Rica, and certainly Carter Hess will not get into that grand final. We've got 2 more heats to come in this second qualifying round for men's stand 2. Some big names coming up as we get to appreciate a little bit of the action here. And coming into the booth, we've got Mr. T, Roy Tuscany, and Anthony Vela.
Welcome to day 1 of competition for the 2024 ISA World Parasurfing Championships, presented by Visit Huntington Beach.
Excellent scores, up and riding. Davi Teixeira, beautiful top turn, sweeping down off the bottom again, setting himself up in the mid part of this wave for another big, nice arcing cutback top turn into the foam, rebounding into a roundhouse again.
Pierrot from France. Beautiful backhand carve right there. That was spicy. And another one back into the whitewater. Beautiful body work there in a third turn.
But look at this. Drives up, real vertical approach into that one.
First heat jitters, they're quite a thing. Until I got that first decent ride, I was literally panicking. I mean, I lie awake at night thinking that gold is mine, and every year I say that, and every year something happens, and yeah, it's got to be this year. It has to be.
Beautiful looking ride, so much speed from Jocelyn Newmuller from Australia. She's going to make the connection, hit the lip on the last part of the wing.
Team Spain, Sarah Almagro with a 6.17.
It's a big responsibility to be here. It's just a pleasure, and also it's a big effort that the federation did to bring us back here. So let's see if I can bring back the gold medal.
That wraps up day one of competition for the 2024 ISA World Parasurfing Championship.
Welcome back to the 2024 ISA World Parasurfing Championships. We are transitioning into a new division. We're in the women's Prone 1, round number 2, heat 1. We've got Sarah Betancourt from USA in red, Tracy McKay from South Africa in blue, and Catherine Beattie also from the United States in bit of an injury, a few injuries last year and wasn't able to compete. There we see Tracy McKay up and riding in that bumpy pier section next to the pier, a lot of current moving, and she is finished with that direction, but the smaller wave.
All right, here's the two from Catherine Beattie, her fellow teammate Sarah Betancourt taking a left very similar to it. Both riders kind of on this, but not impeding each other. As one formed and the other continued, the other peeled off. And here's our 2.33 from our surfer from South Africa, Tracy McKay. 2.33 ride here as she continued on the wave that Catherine Beattie sort of started.
So all of our surfers having scores in their line right now, and we're going to come back to this heat right after we go down to the beach with the winner of the last heat. Benway is down, winner of the last heat, Sponge. Benway didn't win the heat. He's down on the beach with Ben. Bring this team together as we see up on screen the different classifications. And can you specifically talk about the difference between parasurfing Prone 1 and Prone 2?
Yeah, so currently we're seeing the female Prone 1 division here. So surfers who ride waves in a prone position, laying down on the board with no assistance. Now prone surfing, Prone 2, is the same exact position on the board, but these individuals have a difficult time getting themselves in and out of the wave. So they have teams of two that assist the surfer, a pusher and a catcher, one that gets them on the wave and then one that gets them off the wave. And they work together in a very amazing little musical rendition of a beautiful three-part band. And they complement each other to ensure that the surfer gets on the best wave safely, rides the wave to its maximum potential, and then gets back out for that additional opportunity. Now here we go, surfer in blue from South Africa, Tracy McKay, really finding a nice drop and then taking this into the pier bowl as we're starting to see more and more current pulling folks over there. Now it's really just finding the right ride with the best pace.
And this is exciting in this heat because Tracy McKay from South Africa is sitting in 6th, which is the final advancement lot. She needs a score, and here's her opportunity. Not able to catch that one, but there's maybe one more behind it as Catherine Beattie, 25 seconds remaining. Sarah Betancourt duck diving this one, and Tracy McKay ditching her board on that one. Sometimes when you're too close to the whitewater, it's a little better than her scores from yesterday as Tracy McKay's up and riding, and this one made likely not better her score. She's looking to shoot the pier almost on her way in, but Sarah Betancourt in first already, but you also want to win the heat as well. So there's a sense of welcome back. As we switch gears now, we have the men's and women's visual impairment 1 and 2 divisions crowning 4 world champions so far today. As we introduce this heat, our surfer in red, JP Veaudry from South Africa, Forrest Weinberg from the United States in blue, Philippe Naud from France in green, and Nachman Balulu from Israel in white. And another stacked heat we have here today. Anthony Vela joined by Mr. T, Roy Tuscany. Roy, how are you able to contain yourself?
You know, I went out and chatted with a bunch of the competitors in between our first call and then the amazing call that Ben and Sam just put forth. And, you know, everyone's talking team out there. You know, obviously everyone's here as an individual and competing, but really, like, the nations care about the overall team. And Team USA is really talking about the strategy of, you know, kind of like this heat right here. Forrest Weinberg from the U.S. and Philippe Naud from France. Really, Forrest has to win. France has to end up 4th in almost all of these competitions where there's a U.S. versus France to really widen the gap between the 1,000 points that you get for first and then the amount of points you get for 4th place. And it's so surprising. This is such an individual contest to hear all of these surfers talking about, here's what we need to do for Team USA. And I don't know if we can get a shot of it, but Matt Betancourt, the husband to Captain Sarah Betancourt, is running a very fun costume today, running the red, white, and blue, looking like a fun, one of those used car dealerships, fun arms of red, white, and blue, star-spangled banner. So really fun to see the camaraderie that's happening amongst this individual sports, really focusing on team. Here we go, surfer in red. It looks like JP's up for a second wave. You know, when we had him in here in the booth, he was so just, you know, focused. It almost seemed like he was already thinking about his next heat while still trying to commentate in here alongside our staff. And you can see why. He's already out to a 2-wave count in this heat, catching 2 waves in less than 3 minutes. If he keeps up this pace, he could actually mess with the 25 maximum waves in a heat, which I still think is an incredible feat that an individual could try to pull off. But this is from a few years back, and Nachman is the current AASP World Champion, and I think he would love to add to that an ISA World Championship. Look at all of the motion in the ocean right now, and it's going to our surfer in red from South Africa. Really, again, pretty similar scores from our top 3 right now. They're all looking for backups. JP Veaudry from South Africa off the top, and another one carving back into the white water, getting close to the pier, pulling out there. Contest director Eric Kramer, as we see a replay of JP Veaudry from South Africa with that 7.33 that he locks into his score. Great surfing from East London, and favorite waves, Eastern Beach. Look at this one, bang, right off the top there, and carving back on that second turn. That was his 7.33 to entire field has really developed amongst a camaraderie and a message is we're all champions. We're all champions out there as we surf in our classifications and move forward from many of these traumatic, life-changing events, injuries that might shape someone in a negative way, but really have found a positive way to influence all of those that are competitors here of the 150 plus from 25 nations that are, you know, not only inspiring everyone on the board there, you can see it from the expression of shoots. I just missed it. And then here's this beauty from the South African. JP really getting up there, slashing a big turn and staying up. And I don't see that one right there for Philippe, besting that 2.17. But Nachman looks like he's going to stay in the 3rd place position. JP Veaudry, he's done it. He's got that gold medal. He was in here the other day and was talking about how much of this moment he wanted. And this is our men's stand 2 gold medalist. He is excited. He is filled with joy. And we've talked about the paddle back out after catching a good wave. What's the paddle like in after being crowned the world champion?
Oh man, I can imagine. I don't know that, but I can imagine. And what I really love about JP is he was, you know, we heard from Piero Gagliano, he was like, I don't think about the World Championship. I just go out and surf and have fun. But this was a goal of JP's. He really wanted this gold. And you can just see, again, the youthful exuberance, which is why I love sport so much. Every sport, it doesn't matter how much money they make or don't make, when you put your heart and soul and commitment into something and just see it all come to fruition, great camaraderie from these guys. These guys have been competing together over the years. Neither of them had won a gold medal previously until now. JP Veaudry from South Africa. Gabriella, his wife, is going to be so stoked, as will his two daughters, Amelia and Isabella. Third in 2021, third in 2023, second in 2022, and now first place 2024, your new ISA Parasurfing World Champion, JP Veaudry. And tell me, Roy, does he compete on the World Tour as well?
You know, I don't recognize his name, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't. You know, if you ask me of a men's sit skier, or sit wave skier, I can tell you the entire field. As we close out this great heat, what amazing. This is his top scorer in the red jersey, which really took home this title for him, the gold medal. We're going to take a short break and be back with men's stand 3. What a conclusion to men's stand 2.
So much, guys. JP, congratulations. I'm so happy to see you, to be standing here next to you in your World Championship interview. Talk to me about how you're feeling.
Bare necessities. That's a private joke, don't worry about that. Yeah, I sort of kind of rehearsed my victory speech, but it's gone now. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I'm particularly talking to everyone in East London. It's I just want to cry or laugh or something, but I'm so very stoked. This is for my family. You know, they let me come here, they let me leave them. It's hard. My 2 little terrors at home. My wife's had to do it all by herself. Guys, East London, Granny Grommets, you guys, is Jonathan in the UK, I haven't even met, he's still raising money for me. Everyone is just rooting for me. I know they're all watching at home. I could not be here without you. I honestly couldn't. I mean, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't be here. Thank you.
Well, you've had multiple medals to your name, 2 bronze medals, 1 silver medal last year. You were close to that gold last year, except for that interference situation. There was an interference called in this heat, but not with you. You stayed well clear from that. Talk to me about how it feels mentally preparing and trying to improve on medal year on year.
Yeah, the interference was definitely playing in my mind. You know, I let a couple of waves go that, you know, where I had priority, but I just didn't want to take any chances at all. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been coming here for the last 11 years. Always being so close, it's frustrating, and yeah, I can't even express how happy I am. Thanks to the CAF for helping me as well. Also, the guys who make my legs prosthetics. There's just so many people. I'm scared I'm going to leave out people if I do start talking.
Well, it's such a team, and for you to be here now, earning that gold medal on behalf of South Africa as well, on behalf of your family. This morning we were talking and you were showing me your hand, saying, look at my hand shaking, I'm so nervous. But you said this year you were trying something different. You were really trying to stay present and just joyful and happy on this journey. You know, how does that mean to you then to get a gold medal on the other side of all of that?
Well, I watched every heat, and you know, I heard you guys saying something that I've never actually heard before. You're saying things like, JP looks happy, and I've never heard that. You know, I've always been like quite stressed out, and I'm still stressed out, but like I just went out there to enjoy it a bit more, and obviously paid off. Something that my friends said back home, Andre, Warren, and Neville, they said it's 4-man heats, and we do 4-man heats all the time at home just for fun. So, you know, I just visualized it to be my mates, and just it's a fun heat.
Well, it came true. It happened for you. You're a world champion now, a gold medalist. I can't wait to see that hang around your shoulder. You have Team South Africa all right here with you guys.
Come.
Yeah!
Thank you, Rachel.
Back to you guys.
He could not be more stoked. The newly crowned champ.
Now let's all welcome the finalists of the Parasurf Stand 2 Men's Division. Please come up to the stage. Congratulations and thank you very much.